Kafelnikov will look for his second straight Australian Open title against Agassi today. His other Grand Slam championship came at the French in '96. Kafelnikov counters Agassi's charisma with cold court efficiency. The Russian and the American, the two top players in the world, collide today in the first Grand Slam of the year 2000. The Australian Open Men's Championship is live and exclusively on ESPN. Friendly hello, everybody. I'm Cliff Drysdale, Lindsay Davenport, and Hingis in the final yesterday. Just a couple of notes. First of all, Davenport winning that, and she is by far the best player in the world. Now, let's face it, regardless of what it says on the computer. I would have said at the end of last year maybe the same thing about Sampras and Agassi, because it was Andre Agassi who ended up number one on the computer, but Sampras beat him in the World Championship final and beat him at Wimbledon, and frankly, most people thought that he was the best. That all changed here just 2 nights ago. Thursday night, that was here. Live coverage here in Australia that was watched by nearly 50% of the television audience as Agassi took out Sampras in a match that anyone who saw it will remember. It was Agassi who won the first set, 1 break of serve. Sampras came back, won the second set, again just 1 break. Sampras easily won the tiebreak, 7 points to none in the third set, but Agassi won the 4th set tiebreak. That set up set number 5. Agassi got 2 breaks. And Pete Sampras, who for 6 years had been the number 1 player in the world, gave up that spot to Agassi last year, goes out. Agassi remains in, and he is in today's final. 5-setter. That was a great match on Thursday night here in Melbourne. Patrick McEnroe, the question is, has Agassi used up everything, or has he got plenty left for today's final?
This guy has plenty left in the tank, Cliff. Andre Agassi has just been phenomenal in the last year. He has elevated himself to a whole new level, and he did it by beating Pete Sampras on Thursday night. And as you said, really Agassi not clearly the number 1 guy in the world. That all changed. But now Andre wants to claim his rightful place in tennis history. Sampras is already there. He's trying to get a career record 13. But here's Agassi at the French Open last year. He was 2 sets down against Andre Medvedev. He comes back showing so much heart to win the career Grand Slam. Only 4 other men, of course, have done that. Sampras beats him in the final at Wimbledon. Then we go to New York in the U.S. Open. He's 2 sets to 1 down against Todd Martin. He comes back and wins it in 5. Now Agassi, here he is again in his 4th straight Grand Slam final. He should have won a few more Grand Slam finals, let's face it. He wants to start it and keep it going right here in Melbourne.
Okay, everybody's talking about Andre Agassi. Not many people are talking about Yevgeny Kafelnikov, the Russian. He sort of silently made his way to this final for a 2nd straight year, and I think in his mind, anyway, he's not out of this thing at all.
No, he really thinks that he matches up well against Andre Agassi, does Kafelnikov. And let's face it, for Kafelnikov, if he can win here at the Australian Open, this would be 2 straight years. This would give him 3 Grand Slams. He'd also be undefeated in Grand Slam finals. So he could really take himself to a whole nother level. I agree that Sampras and Agassi are clearly the 1-2 in the world, but not if Kafelnikov can win this match today against Agassi. If he can win this, you've got to say Kafelnikov is legitimate number 2. No matter what happens, Agassi's going to be 1. But if Kafelnikov wins here, he's really notched himself up a level.
I wonder if he can. Live coverage. Let's go down now to courtside. It is Malavia, Washington, for more on this final matchup. Mal?
Cliff, down here courtside, it's very warm, and it's very fitting that we have the best 2 players in the world. A couple things to look for. In Andre Agassi, look for him to try to get a high percentage of first serves in. Against Sampras, he was 68%. That allows him to get a lot of free points, but also a lot of good second balls to pound because he's got to control the baseline. For Yevgeny Kafelnikov on the other side of the court, watch out for his backhand down the line. Agassi loves to control the points and really work over his opponent's backhand. If Yevgeny can get that shot going up the line, he can really open up the court and get Agassi on the run. Yevgeny won't win this match playing exclusively from the baseline. He's got to pick and choose when he wants to come in, a little serve and volley. Don't be surprised if you see him attacking Andre's second serve a little bit. Cliff? Back to you.
Thanks, Mel. Well, that may be the game plan. Do you think he's going to be able to work it out, Patrick?
I think he's going to try, but I don't think it's going to work. Agassi is focused. He's committed. He wants this title. I think Kafelnikov will push him, but I think Agassi in 4.
Okay, I'm going for Agassi in straight sets. He's just playing too well. He's too fit. He's too strong, and he's too focused. There he is. Andre Agassi of the USA against Kafelnikov of Russia in this first Grand Slam best-of-5 set singles final from Melbourne in a minute.
Which Sports Center do you watch? Mornings, evenings, late nights? Only on ESPN.
They're the largest creatures on Earth. they've adapted and evolved with strength and determination. The kind of strength that helps the Pacific Life family of companies manage more than $300 billion for its clients, and determination that has guided Pacific Life for 130 years. Size, strength, longevity, offering annuities, insurance and investments. Use the power of Pacific Life.
There's always a combination of taking your knowledge and applying it. For example, I know who the shooter is. I know what he does, what he thinks, under stress, how he'll act, what's his favorite thing to do, what's his least favorite thing to do. And I got most of my rebounds before he took the shot.
Knowledge is the edge. At Invesco, it's the approach we use to make money for investors. You should know what Invesco knows.
My baby don't stand no cheating, my baby. Oh yes, she don't stand no cheating, my baby. Oh yes, she don't stand no cheating. Don't stand none of that midnight creeping, my baby. True little baby, my baby.
Hello, this is Chris Hamilton at Porsche Motors. I'm either away from my desk or with a customer right now, but if you leave a name and number...
Ladies and gentlemen, gather one, gather all. You're going to see something that will truly astonish you. A talking dog. This dog not only speaks right. Come on over. I'm going to show you something truly amazing. This is an alien space egg, ladies and gentlemen. You will see the world's most amazing computer deal. That's right. It defies belief.
Computer deals that sound too good to be true usually are. But for $28 a month, you can get a Gateway Essential PC with a year of AOL included with the Intel Celeron processor from a company you can believe in. Call 1-800-GATEWAY.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of the Australian Open men's final is brought to you by Porsche and by Gateway. Call 1-800-GATEWAY and connect with us. In these past 2 weeks, the courts of Melbourne Park have witnessed tennis mastery and human emotion. Australians hoped to see their first native champion in a generation. It was not to be. But they did see the arrival of a talented teenager with the promise of future titles. As in every major event, the best players are always challenged by those with lesser names, but no lesser desire to win. This was a breakthrough tournament for American Chris Woodruff and for Magnus Norman of Sweden, who reached his first Grand Slam semi-final. Never before had Moroccan players done so well. Arazi and El Lanawi both made it into the final 8. The classic match of the fortnight saw Andre Agassi battle Pete Sampras in 5 dramatic sets. Quietly, the defending champion made his way to another final, completing a matchup that will feature the 2 top-ranked players in the world. First ball, Kafelnikov to Agassi.
There is Larry Stefanki, Kafelnikov's coach. Done a fantastic job with the Russian.
A fantastic job with a few other guys as well. We even tried to take you a little further than you could go.
No, that's a difficult job. Of course, Rios, he helped get to number 1.
Andre Agassi is the man from Las Vegas. That's where he was born. That's where he has spent all of his life. He still lives there. He's the number 1 ranked player in the world.
Look at that record last year, 63-14. Of course, the 2 Grand Slam titles.
And we were previewing some stats. Preview this stat first. 25 years old, Sochi, Russia, Black Sea. Very nice, very pleasant spot to be born and live. He spent most of his time playing on a clay court.
As many wins, you see, Cliff, as Agassi, but a lot more losses. This guy plays way too many events. And as I intimated at the opening, sort of throws in the towel in some of those, and that's hurt him. And maybe that's starting to change. I emphasize maybe. Larry Stefanki certainly has helped Kafelnikov with that. his motivation.
30-all first game. He said that he's played most of his tennis there in Sochi on clay as a kid, but he is an all-surface player. Make no mistake.
Agassi told me about an hour before the match that he's going to try to work Kafelnikov over and let the Russian know from the start how hard he's going to have to work to win this thing. And Agassi showing it right there at 30-all in the first game.
Break point. That is a big ace at a good time for Kafelnikov, and he's even in the first game.
Well, the court really helps the Russian here. Brad Gilbert, Agassi's coach for the last 7 years.
Got a black shirt on in the sun. Agassi's been wearing black almost every match.
For the night matches. Yeah, well, he's smart today. He's got the white out. This might be the hottest day we've had in the 2 weeks here.
Sail, and he has another break point. I think you can bet that it is the hottest day. Mal Washington, who's usually so cool, calm and collected, was saying to the crew earlier, I'm not going to wear this jacket this whole match. You guys are nuts.
Well, this is some power hitting in this first game. Both guys, the cleanest hitters of the ball in tennis off the ground, these two.
Break point.
Now look at Agassi to jump on this second serve. He tried to, but a good second there from Kafelnikov. He pulled Andre out wide.
Listen to this, Patrick. This comes from Sampras on Agassi's famous return. He pretty much stands on the baseline, looking you in the eye and saying, ace me. If you don't, he's going to pounce on that second serve. That's what he did to beat Pete Sampras. Quarterfinals on Thursday night here.
Oh, well, that's a good deep second serve there, and as Mal pointed out, what Agassi's trying to do is look for that first ball to attack. Well, this is exactly what Larry Stefanki wants his guy to do. Step in and get Agassi on the move. Kafelnikov, if he has an edge against Agassi, Cliff, he's probably a little bit quicker playing defense than Agassi is.
Pretty much said as much, didn't he? I mean, he feels that he can run down the incredible ground strokes of Agassi. And he's done it well enough to win the first game. We have Yelena Kafelnikov, 1-0 over Agassi. There are new rules, and we're in the middle of one of them now. The first game, they will change courts, but no rest. Just like after 6 points in a tiebreak, at the end of each set, they take an automatic 2-minute rest. And now the whole deal, we'll call it the Agassi rule. There are 3 infractions, no automatically anymore.
Right, after he got kicked out of a tournament in San Jose last year. But I love this rule right here because we get one game, we have a good first game, a couple of break points. Now we don't have to go to commercial for 2 minutes. We come right back. And I think the players enjoy it. They've definitely adjusted to it. First, remember, the first couple of days they were going to sit down, and the umpire had to say, no, come on, we got to keep going now.
The only observation that we have in the television business is that 2-minute break that's after the set doesn't always last 2 minutes.
No, it seems so eager seems to go a bit quicker. There it is. There's what Mal's talking about, that down the line backhand. And there's a reason that Kafelnikov isn't intimidated by Agassi. As we take a look at this replay again, stepping in, he's able to time it beautifully. The reason is that Kafelnikov has had a couple big wins over Agassi in their career.
He is intimidated by Pete Sampras, and he keeps saying that he is. So when Agassi won that match on Thursday night, Kafelnikov was happy.
Wow, that's some power hitting right there. And that's why Kafelnikov has been able to beat Agassi a few times, including last year at the Canadian Open. That was the last time he beat him. Then Agassi won 3 straight, including the semis at the U.S. Open and the World Championships. Those are the last 3 on hardcourt. But I think Agassi making a tactical error so far. He's trying to out-hit Kafelnikov.
That one is long, and here are 2 break points for Kafelnikov.
If you remember, Cliff, we were in Canada covering that match, and Agassi tried to out-hit Yevgeny, and he got blitzed in straight sets. Then Andre adjusted. He played him in Washington at the U.S. Open. He slowed it down a little bit, worked Kafelnikov. Well, he's making an error here. I mean, it's early, but he's trying to out-hit Yevgeny. Kafelnikov thrives on pace.
That goes long. Big serve. Couldn't have been hit better, but Kafelnikov gets it back, and he gets the early break. 2 games to love, Kafelnikov.
Kafelnikov leads 2 games to...
Mel Washington at courtside. Mel, nice atmosphere. Love the beginning of these Grand Slam finals.
Oh, right now the atmosphere is absolutely great. It's extremely warm. The seats are completely packed. There isn't a seat to be had. With the weather right now, even though Kafelnikov is up a break, with the weather... As I was saying, with the weather, you've got to expect that Agassi has the advantage because of the conditioning that he's in. But one thing we've seen already is that Kafelnikov down the line shot that we had already talked about. Continue to see that throughout this match, I think.
Well, another thing I think to point out about the weather, Cliff, which is important, is that it makes the conditions a bit quicker. It speeds it up a little bit. And though I agree with Mal that Agassi probably has the edge in fitness, although Kafelnikov's as fit as he's ever been, as we see in this forehand winner. Kafelnikov, I think, likes the heat. Because that'll speed the ball up. And he, as you can see, is just very, very confident. I think Agassi a little too over-eager the first couple games here.
30-15. Yeah, I was just going to say, Kafelnikov is the Iron Man of the tour. I mean, he plays more in the last 10 years than anybody. Year in, year out, singles and doubles. So fitness-wise, I think he's going to be able to stay out there long enough.
He's got it.
That's a beautiful point by both players, and Kafelnikov has come out firing in this men's final brilliantly so far. Players will take a break. We'll join a more live coverage of the Australian Open from Melbourne in a minute.
Watch NHL tonight on ESPN2.
What a dream. I'm at this huge bash. Naked, but no one noticed.
Cert's Cool Mint Drops with Repsin. It's clean, fresh breath that lets you feel very comfortable. Be certain with Cert's.
What if your car slips off the road in Slippery Rock? Or you need the name of a mechanic in Mechanicsville? Well, if your car is insured by State Farm, just look up the local State Farm agent. Almost anywhere you travel, whether it's a big metropolis or just a little one, a good neighbor is always nearby to help. So if your car gets stolen in Thief River Falls, or you have some trouble in Paradise, hey, don't worry about it. State Farm is there.
What a dream. I'm at this huge bash. Naked, but no one noticed.
Cert's Cool Mint Drops with Repsin. It's clean, fresh breath that lets you feel very comfortable. Be certain with Cert's.
Andre Agassi understands exactly what it is that makes Kafelnikov so tough.
Yeah, Yevgeny's such a great baseliner who moves so effortlessly, a big guy who moves well, and he has a lot of versatility off both wings, his forehand and backhand, and if he controls the point, he can start really exposing the court and opening it up and creating all sorts of chaos for you. So you have to be aggressive against him.
And chaos, I think, describes pretty much what's happened here in the first 3 games. Love 15 in this game.
Well, Kafelnikov did exactly what Agassi said he can do in the first point. He opened the court up, backhand winner again up the line. And Andre not doing what he told me he was going to do, which was work Kafelnikov. He's trying to out-hit him in the first 3 games. He's going to have to reevaluate now.
15-all.
Oh! Unreal backhand there. Man, is he hitting that backhand cleanly. Agassi was only broken once against Pete Sampras over in 25 service games. It took 1 today against the Russian.
Amazing.
Unreal. Look at Kafelnikov. He has come out smoking in this first set. And Larry Stefanki says, this is how he drew it up in the playbook. Look at this. Again, Kafelnikov defending, and then backhand rips it cross court. And there you see the liability of Andre as we see this two-hander. Just flattens it out.
Ooh, with Kafelnikov, it's a matter of him knowing that he's going to have to play brilliantly to beat Agassi, and so far he's done exactly that. He had the exact same feeling when we watched these two play in Toronto.
And this is the first time in this tournament that we've seen Agassi be out-hit.
Definitely, Mel, and I think Kafelnikov's the only guy that can out-hit him off the ground. Some guys can out-serve Agassi. And look at that, double from Andre. Wow.
Another break, 4 games to Kafelnikov, 2 breaks. He beat him easily in the first set at the US Open before Agassi made a comeback.
Well, that's a great point. 6-1 in the first set before Agassi sort of reeled it in. Kafelnikov said after his match in the semifinals, if that happens again, I won't let up. I learned the lesson in New York. He thought Agassi would sort of start going away, but then Agassi, as we've seen from the last couple Grand Slams, he's won 2 sets down in Roland Garros, 2 sets to 1 down at the Open. That's just not in the game plan for Agassi now.
That one sails. It's first point of the 5th game, 4 games to love Kafelnikov. It is nice to see Kafelnikov playing that well. I must say my sympathies are with Agassi. I'd like to see him win this whole thing. He deserves it. That one sails wide. He's had a rough road here. He had to take out the big serving Mark Philippoussis and then that classic with Pete Sampras, and Kafelnikov's had a relatively easy way here, but that's not his fault. 15-all.
Agassi hoping to get the call there, but it looked like it snuck in the corner there. This is where Kafelnikov can give you some free points with that second serve. It's not very consistent, doesn't get it that high over the net. And Agassi is going to try to make some inroads and pressure Kafelnikov. Hope to get a few more doubles. That was his second.
That one gives Agassi a break point.
Well, this right here in the 5th game is the first winner for Andre Agassi in this match. Gives him 2 break points.
Davenport normally 2 breaks down, and you say the set's history. We might have to rethink it. As Agassi gets 1 back, he'll serve 1-4 first set.
Hello, I'm Mark John Jeffries, and I'm here to talk with you about People PC. What is People PC, you ask? It's simple. 1, a new brand name PC replaced every 3 years. 2, unlimited internet. 3, in-home service. Yep, if all else fails, they come to you. 4, great deals on stuff you like from places you know. All for $24.95 a month. That's it. Let's review. For about the cost of internet service alone over here, you get unlimited internet, a new computer, in-home service, and great deals over here. All for $24.95 a month. How? Strength in numbers, my friends. Folks, I'm Mark John Jeffries for People PC. Thank you, and God bless.
Andre Agassi has lost only 1 Grand Slam match in 4 slams. Yevgeny, are you intimidated by Andre?
A lot more intimidated when I would play Pete, for example, because I feel like, when I go Andre, I have a shot of beating him because our games match up to each other well. We're both baseliner, likes to create the shot, the point in the baseline and finish the net. So, I'm sure the fans will come out and watch on Sunday will get big satisfaction.
First point to Kafelnikov, 4-1. Kafelnikov leads. This is Agassi, who has not held his serve yet.
He's only won 3 points on his serve, Cliff Agassi, 3 out of 12. And this is a guy who's been absolutely dominant on serve, Agassi. That's really been the impetus to help him get to #1 and elevate his game in the last year. Improved serving, much better second serving, allowing him to go for more first serves.
More proof of that intimidation Kafelnikov was just talking about. Remember last year in his acceptance speech when he actually thanked Pete Sampras for not coming to the tournament? That just shows you he is intimidated by Pete.
He doesn't like the big serving of Sampras. Feels like he can get overpowered, but as he said, he feels like he can stay with Agassi from the ground. He has a shot in each rally, and so far, he's out hitting Agassi. Andre again in trouble on serve at 1-4. That was overruled there, I think. Agassi's backhand overruled.
Yeah.
And Agassi's not going to like that one.
Wayne, you just overruled, right? Yeah. Oh my God, don't. It was pretty clear on drive.
Gilbert saying, how could he overrule that on the baseline? I'm right on there. And here, this backhand, Kafelnikov actually played it as if he thought it was out. Tough to tell from there. Break points. So Agassi saves 1. The first serve percentage for Agassi has been good. It's 81%. More aggressive play from Agassi there. Solid serve there. Good stab from Kafelnikov, but Agassi rips that one. Back to deuce. It's a huge game for Agassi to have any chance in this set. Finally, Agassi connects on a backhand up the line himself.
Steffi Graf watching. They are boy and girlfriend. She has been here for the duration with him in Australia.
This is the first time that Agassi's really been able to step in. You see here early preparation, just shoulder turn, and get that acceleration as he lines it up, his head still.
Game point Agassi. Agassi holds on, and Kafelnikov leads by 4 games to 2. Now 1 break in the first set.
Kafelnikov leads 4 games to 2.
Sports Center at 11 p.m. on ESPN2 tonight. Hardlander is Icelander. In fact, the team couldn't practice because of the weather. And then we've got the dunk of the year, LSU upsetting the number 4 Arizona. And how about Tyson in his heavyweight bout from London? That is on Sports Center on ESPN2.
Now Agassi's starting to make some inroads on Kafelnikov, and he's done it by pulling back a little bit and working Kafelnikov over instead of trying to out-hit the Russian. Agassi giving away nothing now despite getting down 4-love in a matter of minutes in the final here.
I really felt that Agassi needed to get out to a quick start against Sampras. He did. He was the first to break and went on to win it in 5. And I feel the same way about Kafelnikov. He needs to get out to a good start. He has. He gets 2 breaks. But now he's letting things slip as Agassi is coming roaring back. Big points here. Love 30.
Yeah, and as Agassi comes roaring back and getting closer to Kafelnikov, Cliff, you really get the sense that the Russian has got to win this set to have any shot at all. If he loses a set from 4-love up, this thing could be a straight setter. Yeah, there's the play from Agassi. There's a perfect example, Cliff. Agassi rolling the backhand back. Kafelnikov loves pace, but he doesn't create his own pace as well as Agassi does. That time Agassi pushed it back, got a little more height over the net, earned himself his 4th break point.
Trying for that one, but it's out of reach. Still break point for Agassi.
Interesting to see that even though Andre was down 2 breaks, he decided he wanted to hang in there. As you see him struggling just to throw up this high lob, and the winner there by Kafelnikov. But down 2 breaks in men's tennis is usually assured a win for the set, but he just hung in there and he's fighting his way back.
He's put that one away, and Agassi gets the 2nd break back. Yeah, this is a fast court too, but Agassi has broken twice on serve. Now he'll serve trailing 3-4 first set.
Winter X Games, February 4th through 8th on ESPN and ESPN2, presented by Motorola. Winter X Games, February 4th through 8th on ESPN and ESPN2, presented by Motorola.
We're live down under in Melbourne, Australia for the Australian Open men's singles final. Lindsay Davenport won the women's yesterday afternoon, Friday night where you're watching us, and now Andre Agassi is trying to join her in an all-American affair in the singles. 4-3, Kafelnikov leads, but we're on serve. Davenport has just got Hingis's number, doesn't she?
She does. I mean, too much firepower, and she's so consistent now. She's moving so much better. Winning a lot of free points with her serve, but she's hitting her forehand so well now, Lindsay.
She doesn't miss. 15 love.
15.
Well, Agassi now starting to find the range with the serve, and not an easy forehand there, but he makes it look easy, taking it on the rise, just pounding it down the line.
Big return, the two-hander. There are so many shots that are alike between these two. Kafelnikov doesn't hit the ball as early as Agassi, and having said that, look where he is when he makes this one. He's 2-3 feet inside the baseline.
He loves that return, creates the angle. He can go either way with the backhand, as he's shown us in this first set. 15 all.
That's a beautiful shot. I mean, to hit a ball like that over the high part of the net so accurately is amazing.
Well, Agassi's worked his way back into this, but he's sort of going back to what he did the first few games, which is trying to out-hit Kafelnikov. It's almost like Andre gets overconfident. Got to stay within the game plan here and mix it up, slow the pace down a little bit when they get in the rally. Return points, all even now.
I don't blame him for being confident. He's only lost one Grand Slam match in 4 outings.
Got every reason to be.
I think he's invincible, and who can blame him? Big wins here. That is just too good.
Well, that's what Kafelnikov needs to do, is shorten the points up. And it's funny how in the beginning of the tournament we said these courts are fast, the conditions favor the big servers, and look what we've got here in the final. The two best baseliners in tennis, the two best players who time the ball, they've been able to adjust to the conditions.
Good point. That goes wide, and Kafelnikov has broken Agassi again 3 times now. Agassi's only been able to hold his serve once in this set, and Kafelnikov will serve for it.
You noticed a couple of points ago when Kafelnikov snuck in. That's a play I actually thought we were going to see a little more of from him throughout this match. It's only the first time he's done it, but I expect to see him sneak in a little bit when he gets Andre stretched wide and gets him on the run.
Yes, Edberg, Borg, and Connors got to their first 3 slam finals and won them all. Kafelnikov has won the first 2. So he'll join that group if he can win this one. Remember how long it took Lendl?
And Agassi. Agassi lost his first 3 Grand Slam finals. 1 at the U.S. Open, 2 at the French.
2 points from the set.
Kafelnikov talked to himself after the first point, saying, come on, Yevgeny, first serve. He knows how crucial that is. And as we've seen, no shortage of breaks in this match. 2 best returners in the game.
Kafelnikov said after the Sampras match with Agassi that I hope this final can live up to that match at least, and so far it has. It's been brilliant.
This was just a phenomenal rally here. Kafelnikov with some great scrambling. He really got worked over in this point. Agassi scrambling, and then this one Kafelnikov says, I've got to end it. I've put too much work in. And watch the reaction from the Russian after he hits this winner.
Set points coming up for Kafelnikov.
Good sign for Agassi, despite being down set point. He knows he's worked Kafelnikov over these last few points, and that was a desperate attempt from the Russian to end the point quickly, and maybe not a stupid one, because now it gives him a little chance to rest. He needs a big first serve here. Agassi doing a little bit of breathing himself. And this is good for Kafelnikov. Look, now he can take a little walk, get a little more rest. He says, give me one more let. Give me another 15 seconds.
Set point.
I guess he can win this point. Kafelnikov could be in trouble. Oh, great stab, great stab.
He's doing the right thing, isn't he? He's taking it right to Agassi. His second serve, and then a terrific volley. And Kafelnikov of Russia has won the first set against Agassi of the USA.
Now that the new millennium has finally arrived, things seem pretty much like they were in the old millennium. Not at the Walt Disney World Millennium Celebration, and not for American Express card members. With a white glove vacation and extras like storytelling and 250 free Disney dollars, card members can celebrate like no one else. The festivities last all year. The memories will last a lifetime. Now and for the next 1,000 years, American Express helps you do more.
Yesterday, Lindsay Davenport walked onto the court for her third career Grand Slam title match. In a startling display of power, she beat Martina Hingis in straight sets and made it a perfect 3-for-3. Here's the women's champion. She's treated like a queen. Lindsay's royal barge was a gondola on the Yarra. It was a day like no other for Lindsay Davenport.
It's amazing. Never thought this would happen when I was growing up, and I can't believe it, and to win the Grand Slams is obviously what all the players play for, and when you can pull through and win, and it's the greatest feeling in the world. It's the most difficult 2 weeks to get through, and I've done it again.
Barry Stefanki is coaching Evgeny Kafelnikov, and he has got to be pleased with that, and I think he's had a look at Harold Heck, isn't he, one of our guys on our
Got a
team?
good seat.
Yeah.
Stefanki used to play doubles with Robert Vantoff, Lindsay Davenport's coach, and now Stefanki's pupil going for his third Grand Slam, and he's never lost one in a final. He's 1/3 of the way there against Agassi. I get the feeling those last two are going to get tougher and tougher. Agassi not giving an inch. Even in that last game there, he made Kafelnikov work hard.
15 love first point, second set.
Against Pete Sampras, Andre Agassi played such clean tennis. He only made 10 errors in the first 3 sets against Pete. Well, he made that many just in the first set against Kafelnikov, but obviously a much different matchup here.
Yeah, different game. You have more opportunities to make errors against Kafelnikov than Sampras.
Good start here in the second set for Andre, mixing his serves up, using those wide serves. That's the tactic he loves to do to try to wear his opponent down, and that's the mentality now of Agassi. He doesn't think over the course of 5 sets that Kafelnikov could stay with him physically. And I think we're going to find that out today. If he can, because if he can, the Russian, he's got a chance to win this thing.
Game point. Agassi starts to jog to the sideline as he wins the first game of the second set, but Kafelnikov has won the first. Let's go to Malavia, Washington. Mal?
Well, Cliff, I think right now Kafelnikov is doing exactly what he needs to do. He just needs to do more of it. For Andre Agassi, a little what I'm surprised about is he hasn't been able to pull Kafelnikov that wide on his backhand, making Kafelnikov let loose of the racket, hitting the backhand slice. As you know, that's not a very offensive shot. If Andre can pull Yevgeny wide, I think he'll really be able to take advantage of some points. Just to add to that, I think he can also do that with the kick serve out wide that we saw in the second point of the last game.
110 mile an hour serve there from Kafelnikov on the Porsche radar gun, and another big one from Kafelnikov, and it's 30-love. 1 game to love, Agassi, 1 set to none, Kafelnikov.
See, that's a better play from Agassi. A little more margin, higher over the net. Every time he's done that, he's forced an error from Kafelnikov. Not to mention, he's also making the Russian work a bit harder. So important as this match goes on, Cliff, that first serve to Kafelnikov. He's at 56% now with that first serve.
4 aces.
And the more cheap points he can win, the more energy he'll be able to conserve.
What do you think about his fitness, Kafelnikov?
I think he's fit, but I don't think he's as fit as Agassi. I mean, he also hasn't played any tough matches here, really. He hasn't really been tested. And this is the hottest day that we've had. And he just hasn't had to work that hard to get here.
Game to Kafelnikov. It is even at 1 game all in the second set. First set in this Grand Slam final to Kafelnikov. Sports Center coming your way from ESPN2 at the top of the hour. Of course, we're telling you all about the ice in Atlanta in preparation for the Super Bowl, and then LSU upsetting Arizona. More on that, and Mike Tyson winning his heavyweight bout in England.
Quick second round knockout for Tyson. Might take the heavyweight champ here, Agassi, a little bit longer. The way the Russians come out in the first 40 minutes here. In fact, no might, it's definitely going to.
There's that one-hander that Mal was talking about. If you can get him out wide enough where he can't get his 2 hands on it.
And Cliff, in general, in all of the matches that I've seen Yevgeny play, he doesn't mind hitting the slice backhand, but I think against Agassi, he knows he just can't use that. He really needs to do something and stick with the 2-handed backhand.
That Agassi has so much control while hitting the ball so hard is one of the most phenomenal things to me in sports.
Agassi 9 winners. Kafelnikov doubling him up there.
Yevgeny Kafelnikov knows that it's going to take a superhuman effort today against Agassi, who's playing so well, and so far that's exactly what you've seen from the Russian.
There's not exactly anything like a Hertz-covered return center. It's dry, 365 days a year. Too bad you can't spend your whole vacation here. Hertz Freedom rates, only $29.99 a day at participating U.S. airports, with the freedom to pick up and drop off anytime. Just keep it over a Saturday night. Hertz will provide the great rates. The rest is up to you.
I'm Buzz, and
I'm Shirley Bozzolini.
And that's Shirley.
We're people. We switched the autos to State Farm because I was tired of punching numbers. We dial a 1-800 number, hit an asterisk, hit a pound sign, and never did know who we were talking to.
They don't have to hit a pound sign to talk to me.
When I need to call my agent at State Farm, he knows who I am and I know who he is.
I can talk to Gary like a friend.
I even insure their golf cart.
Like a
good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Finally, the women's doubles. Well, there was some disappointment in the men's division, but we have an Australian winner in the women's doubles, Patrick.
Renee Stubbs, the Australian there, celebrating along with her partner from the USA, Lisa Raymond. A terrific win over Martina Hingis and Mary Pierce. Hingis had won it 3 years in a row here at the Aussie Open in doubles and in singles. So both of those streaks got snapped.
6-4, 5-7, 6-4. Hingis and Pierce going down to Raymond and Stubbs, who was seeded number 1 here in the women's doubles. 2-1 Agassi on serve in the second set. There's Kafelnikov.
Well, I saw Gil Reyes, Agassi's buddy and fitness trainer, just before the match, and I said, you ready for today? He said, we're going to work. I said, we're going to work. We're lacing him up. And that's exactly what Andre's going to have to do here. Going to have to outwork Kafelnikov. There's Gil Reyes.
Gentle giant.
Exactly. One of the sweetest guys you'd ever meet.
And I'll tell you what, I think a lot of the credit for Andre Agassi, success goes to him. He's always had the talent. The problem is that guys who are have a talent overload like he does very often don't work hard enough to get into shape because things come too easily for him. But he really changed his mind, and I think it happened about a year ago when he lost here in the quarterfinals. And Reyes got him aside and said, listen, you've got to decide on what you want to do with your career. And he said, let's go for it. And he got himself into better shape than ever. Game points here for Kafelnikov. Kafelnikov with the hold, and it's 2 games all in the second set. First set to Kafelnikov. Meanwhile, Renee Stubbs again in the mixed doubles for Australia with American Jared Palmer, as they took out one of the Woodies. This was played earlier today. Todd Woodbridge playing with Rancho Sanchez Beccaria. So Renee Stubbs and Jared Palmer, congratulations to them. Mixed doubles winners here at the first Grand Slam.
One of my old doubles partners, Cliff, the talented Jared Palmer, and he wins his first Grand Slam title.
Down the line, that two-hander that he's controlled so well all day, so far down under here, and it's love 15.
Well, another big backhand here as Kafelnikov just unleashes this one. And the slice kept him in that point. You got to keep it low against Agassi. To correct myself, Jared Palmer won the doubles here in '95, the men's doubles with Richie Renneberg. It was his first mixed Grand Slam title. Agassi starting to impose himself in those baseline points now. With 5 more than Kafelnikov. Much better serving from Agassi so far in the second set as well. He's using the corners. Tell you what, though, Kafelnikov has weathered his storm a little bit, because I had this sense that after that first set that Kafelnikov was a little bit fatigued from that tough service game. But now 30 all. All of a sudden, Agassi really with the pressure on him. Kafelnikov looks much more relaxed now. Oh, that's a very good serve. Big second serve there.
14-13.
It is such a sign of confidence there at 30 all to go for that second serve. You know, if you don't hit it perfectly, Kafelnikov with that forehand is going to be all over it.
That goes long, and Agassi holds on. He's jogging to the sideline just to show you, Evgeny, that he's in for the long haul in this Grand Slam final, the first of the year down under here in Melbourne. 3-2 Agassi in the lead, but he's lost the first set.
Hi, Brian Collard here for Authentic American Collectibles. 50 new quarters will be issued over the next 10 years, one to represent each state. In 1999, 5 coins were issued. These highly collectible coins will never be minted again. They're Delaware, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Georgia, and Connecticut. To celebrate this historic event, we're introducing the first quarters map. There's a designated slot that safely secures each coin, and the map is color coordinated for easy reference. It even tells you when new coins will be issued. New coins will be available at your local bank. Each map is numbered and comes with a certificate of authenticity. When you order, you'll receive the map, the certificate, and a guidebook filled with information about each state, all for just $20. But call in the next 60 seconds and we'll include 5 new state quarters in mint condition, absolutely free. Here's how to order.
To order your first quarters map for only $20 plus shipping, have your credit card ready and call 1-800-831-5577.
Men's doubles final yesterday afternoon was a match that lasted somewhat over 4 hours, Patrick. It's one of those where you can kind of go away and you come back and it's still on and you say, what? 18-16 in the 5th set. Black and Kratzman going down to Ferreira and Leach. And Ricky Leach going to play Davis Cup for the U.S.
Yeah, it was quite a day for Ricky. Got the call from the captain, my brother John, in the morning that he was going to go and be part of the team in Zimbabwe, and then he wins another Grand Slam. The amazing thing about Rick Leach that he won this Australian Open in doubles 13 years ago. There he is at 35, winning another one. Just talk about staying power. Unbelievable.
We're going to start our Davis Cup coverage on ESPN2 Friday at noon. That's 9 o'clock on the Pacific Coast. USA versus Zimbabwe. Who do you think is going to play the second singles for the USA?
We're still waiting to hear. I've heard maybe Chris Woodruff, maybe Courier. Actually, maybe Chang. We've heard that Rick Leach is going, and now he and Alex O'Brien left this morning. They're on their way there now.
That ace gets him to 40 love. 6th ace for Kafelnikov.
One thing I've noticed in this game, it doesn't look like Evgeny's really going for the big serves. He's happy to stick around 105, 110 miles an hour on his first serves. Really trying to get a lot of first serves in here, you know, in the middle of the second set.
Double fault, and it's 40-15. He's had 4 double faults now.
Another word I've also heard, Cliff, from Brad Gilbert is that Todd Martin, who had pulled out because he was having some health problems down here and went back to the U.S. to get some tests. He was supposed to be part of the doubles team. That he's maybe back in the picture as far as going to play singles.
The Kafelnikov holds on. It is 3 apiece. In the second, first set to Kafelnikov, 6-3. Pete Sampras in this #1 parade last year held it for 24 weeks. Agassi just behind him. And when we were looking at this stat, Kafelnikov had it for a while, so did Moy and Rafter before this match started. When we previewed these things, Patrick said, that's going to change this year.
Yeah, we're not going to see that many guys getting to #1. It's going to be this man, probably the man receiving here has a chance, and Pete Sampras. Talk about some monstrous hitting there. I mean, this was mano a mano here. Who could out-hit who on the cross-court backhand? These guys just unleashing a barrage. Oh, finally, Kafelnikov can't handle that depth.
15 love. This is really great stuff. Yevgeny Kafelnikov didn't handle it well when he was at #1. He lost 6 first-round matches before taking it over, and then, you know, he was embarrassed by it. Mark Miles went over and said, listen, you've got to get your act together. Behave like the #1 player in the world, and I think he took it to heart.
Just a second ace for Agassi there, again trying to swing the serve out wide. Made Kafelnikov have to do some extra work. 95 miles per hour, that last ace.
14-15.
Welcome visit by our good buddy, Mr. Fred Stolley here, who sends greetings to everybody back home. His comment on this match: they're not hitting the ball hard enough.
These boys know how to hit it. So even when you're not here, Fred, you're here.
Game point, Agassi.
Fred won the doubles here, by the way.
The mixed doubles.
Yeah, that's right.
Senior, super senior, I think. Well done, Fred. 4-3. Agassi on serve in the second.
In tennis, the advantage of the two-handed backhand is obviously power, because you're using both hands. But it also is deceiving because in a split second you can change the direction of the ball that you hit. Your opponent never knows if you're going to rifle it down the line or rip it cross court, and I like that.
Knowledge is the edge. At Invesco, it's the approach we use to make money for investors. You should know what Invesco knows.
We were on a voyage to reclaim the America's Cup. We wouldn't return without it. If we returned at all.
Johnny Crab! Johnny Crab! Prepare to attack!
The crew encountered some setbacks, but our commitment to win back the cup never wavered.
This is a great stadium built especially for tennis. It has a retractable roof, and it was called this year for the first time the Rod Laver Arena, after that man, the left-hander who won 2 Grand Slams. And how many more championships would he have won had he been able to play for all those years when pros were not allowed to play in Grand Slam matches? Congratulations to the Rocket. He was in tears when he heard that this thing was going to be named after him. He said that this was the greatest honor ever bestowed on him. That's great. I love it. I think that's terrific. He deserves it.
Should also mention that one of the other greats, Cliff, the great Don Budge, passed away this week. Another one of the winners of the Grand Slam. Send our condolences to him. He won 6 consecutive Grand Slam titles, did Don Budge, between Wimbledon in '37 and the U.S. in '39.
So our condolences to his family. Greatest backhand maybe that was ever hit. Don Budge.
Speaking of Don Budge, I had the chance to meet Don Budge last summer at the Davis Cup in Boston, and that was a great thrill for me.
Rod twice Grand Slam, as we already told you. Andre Agassi, 4 straight Grand Slam finals, and Don Budge is on that list. He won the big point. 15-30. He got it. He got it into Kafelnikov's feet, and Kafelnikov couldn't come up with a half volley. We got a couple of break points here. This is the first real chance in the second set.
No one can get to this ball and make this shot that Agassi does here. He gets it, it's on the baseline. He's able to flick at it and get enough speed on it. There's no way Kafelnikov expected that ball to come back that quickly. Seventh ace for the Russian.
Break point again. That goes wide, and there is the break for Agassi. He's now 1 game away from leveling this match at 1-all. That he is able to take that first serve of Kafelnikov's and get it back so easily, Patrick, is just mind-boggling.
Well, that's the value, Cliff, of scouting and a good coach to help you out, because Agassi knew that that serve was going down the middle. He knows the book on Kafelnikov. His coach, Brad Gilbert, was out here watching the Russian in the semifinal. When he's down on big points, he loves to hit that one up the middle in the ad court. Agassi read it and gotten in control of the point. Oof, there's a big return of his own.
Agassi has really never played better tennis, and Kafelnikov is staying with him pretty much shot for shot. This is really living up to the name Grand Slam singles final. And they often don't.
See, Agassi had struggled in the first set, lost serve 3 times, but he's tightened it up here in set 2. Has not lost serve. Well, Kafelnikov now is trying to cover the ball, I think, a little too much. In that first set, he was taking the Agassi power and bringing it back with a little more power, but now he's playing a little bit defensive.
You cannot wait for Agassi to make mistakes.
No, that's not going to happen. The longer the point goes, the better it is for Agassi.
2 points from the set.
Patrick, you mentioned that Yevgeny's trying to cover the ball. It looks almost as if he's trying to just pull Agassi wide off the court with that little forehand roll cross court. But that's so difficult to do because Andre's getting so much depth on his ground strokes.
Yeah, that's the play that Kafelnikov needs to continue to go for, is attack the second serve, and as soon as he gets anything short, able to get Agassi out wide on the back end there, look to attack.
This is a big point coming up. It's 30-all, 5-3. Agassi serving for the second set. He's down a set. Unbelievable. That's the first drop shot he's tried.
I mean, talk about confidence. I mean, the second serve wide at 30-all a couple of games ago, and this time, look how he steps into the court. And that gives him the opportunity to play that drop shot. He doesn't have to be as good. He's so close to the net. Kafelnikov had no clue that that was coming.
Kafelnikov was also a good 10 feet behind the baseline, which set up perfectly for that drop shot.
Set point. I just sense, Patrick, that this is a really important game, because if Agassi lets this one slip and Kafelnikov can come back in this set, it'll be a turning point. Deuce. Oh, he went for a little too much that time. He said, I've had enough at this point. As you pointed out, Patrick, he needs to get these points over with quickly, but he has given Agassi another shot at leveling this match once at all. He has, in my opinion, no alternative. He's got to try to finish the points.
And when Agassi tries to finish the point a little early, that's when he makes a couple of errors. He gets a little overconfident. The more he works Kafelnikov, I think the more unforced errors he's going to force over the course of this match.
Talked a lot about how Agassi has improved his serve these last few years. And that's true. To me, the other big statistic with him is how he just doesn't make mistakes now. Oh, he did it again. And it worked again.
Not only did it work again on this point, but it's going to take a lot out of Kafelnikov, especially when he had to move back for that one. He had to go all the way backwards. Agassi does it again. Kafelnikov tries for this one, gets up to it, just can't quite get low enough to push this back.
Set point.
Kafelnikov not going to have much in the tank for this point. Smart play when you're winded. Attack the return and try to finish the point quickly. Steffi Graf knows a little bit about forehand winners. 22 Grand Slam titles in singles for Steffi.
Come on!
Advantage Agassi.
Another set point.
This match is dead solid even. Steffi Graf likes what she just saw. One set all. It's the Australian Open final set 3 when we come back.
They call it Stormy Monday. No Tuesday, just bad. They call it Stormy Monday.
The all-wheel drive Carrera 4. It's one beautiful day after another.
They're the largest creatures on Earth. They've adapted and evolved with strength and determination. The kind of strength that helps the Pacific Life family of companies manage more than $300 billion for its clients. And determination that has guided Pacific Life for 130 years. Size, strength, longevity, offering annuities, insurance and investments. Use the power of Pacific Life.
6-3 first set to Kafelnikov. Now Agassi has leveled it at 6-3. This is the 4th straight Grand Slam final for Andre Agassi. That in itself is an historic win. He lost the first 2 sets in the final of the French Championships, Patrick.
That's right, against Andre Medvedev. He got blitzed in the first 2 sets, but he stuck with it, and he started to work the ball, and Brad Gilbert said, we got to stick with this. And look at the emotion from Agassi as he won an unforgettable match that day in Paris. An emotion obviously overtook him, and here he is live at 1 set apiece. He's been getting down in Grand Slam finals, Agassi, with regularity the last few he's been in. Couldn't come back against Sampras at Wimbledon. That was the only one he wasn't able to come back in. Again, he was 2-1 down against Todd Martin at the Open, the U.S. Open.
First game, 3rd set. live in Melbourne, everyone. Cliff Drysdale, Patrick McEnroe alongside, Malavi Washington at courtside, Andre Agassi, the number 1 player in the world, Yevgeny Kafelnikov is the number 2 player in the world, and they're playing for this first Grand Slam title of the year.
Now, this match very similar right now to the match that these two played in the semis of the U.S. Open. First set to Kafelnikov. Agassi comes back in the second. Kafelnikov said in the press conference just after his semi leading up to this match, he said, I know what happened in New York, and I'm ready for the fight of my life in this final. And now he knows that's what he's in for, because Agassi simply going full tilt at every single ball.
When Agassi was the number 2 seed in 1995, he took out Pete Sampras in the final. That is the last time that the number 1 and 2 seeds met in the championship match here in Melbourne.
Well, Kafelnikov's got to continue to do this. Gets Agassi out with the one-hander and sneak in, take advantage of his volleying skills. This guy's won 3 Grand Slams and doubles. A couple of Frenches, a couple of U.S. Open. All with Daniel Vacek of the Czech Republic.
This is a big point. Second serve, 15-30, first game, third set. That is wide now. Break points for Agassi. He could have broken this whole thing open now.
He may very well. And again, Agassi rolling that ball back deep, taking a little pace off it. That has forced countless errors from Kafelnikov.
Now, Agassi got broken in his first 2 serve games. In fact, he got broken 3 times in that first set. But I don't think he's been broken since then. And for Kafelnikov, this is a big point because Agassi's now on a roll on his own serve.
Yeah, Kafelnikov needs to stop the bleeding here after losing that second.
Yes.
Lets Agassi jump out to a lead. He's going to be sprinting over that changeover with regularity, Agassi.
9th break point chance. And there's a gift for Agassi as he wins the first game of the third. They will change ends, and Agassi will serve leading 1 game to love. Let's go down to Mal Washington. He's at courtside. Mal?
Cliff, I think it's heating up even more down here, but what I saw in that second set, I thought Andre played such a smart set. We saw him hitting the ball big, hitting his winners when he could, but we also saw him changing the pace of the ball, getting a little more height on the ball so we can get better depth, and of course the really smart shots, taking a couple of drop shots. He's really working Kafelnikov around the court right now, and right now Kafelnikov really needs to stop the rout. All the momentum is with Andre.
That double fault from Kafelnikov on break point, Cliff, was his 7th of the match. And, you know, we've looked at the Kafelnikov serve and we've picked it apart, and we know that he's got some technical flaws in it. And when you start to get tired, break down a little bit, that's when those technical flaws start to show up in your game.
Ooh, there's another reason why those technical flaws start to show up, and it begins with the T. Tight.
I think it's more of a case of the way Agassi has just worked him over, Cliff. I just think that Agassi is wearing him down, and it's amazing that just after an hour and 12 minutes that you can say that, but that's the way that Agassi plays. It's not so much the time, it's how he makes you work each point. Kafelnikov's starting to feel it.
We used to say the same thing about Jimmy Connors. As flat as he hit the ball.
And nothing for free.
And a constant barrage that never ends. Game points here for Agassi.
Well, the first serve percentage for Agassi has gone up as this match has continued. He's up at 67% now. Kafelnikov has gone well down from the first set. He's now just at 50%. And he was up right around 60 in that first set.
Agassi is making it look easy now. 2 games to love and 1 set all in this men's singles final, best of 5.
Agassi leads 2 games to love.
Super Sunday on ABC. Before football, make sure to tune in for the senior skins game at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. The big Jack Nicklaus is in the lead with 4 skins and $90,000 already. Then are you ready for some football? The pregame show for Super Bowl 34 begins at 2 p.m. and then the kickoff, Titans and Rams, at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. It's going to be a great day of sports on ABC, and we'll be watching it at some airline lounge somewhere, folks, in Melbourne, Australia, Monday afternoon.
Again, Agassi with the 3rd drop shot. Kafelnikov couldn't even make an attempt for that one.
About 15. Now at courtside, you have been in a Grand Slam final at Wimbledon. You know what it feels like to be out there. What do you tell a guy like Kafelnikov now, who really looks like he's in serious trouble?
Well, Cliff, as you see another error by Kafelnikov, I guess the thing I would draw on is I remember back at Wimbledon in my semifinal with Todd Martin, I was down big in the 5th set, and I think I really just tried to hang in there, and I would tell him to, really try to cut down on his errors.
Become a one-man show. Go ahead.
We've seen him. I tell him to really try to cut down on his errors because he's, throwing in a few double faults, and right now he just really needs to hang in there and somehow stop the rout. Andre's won, several games in a row. He's down a break. He just needs to somehow turn the tide a little bit so he can get a little momentum. It is not helping him, as you see a full fault called on Yevgeny. It's not helping him that Andre's making him work so hard, and he's getting a little fatigued.
30-40, still break point.
Oh, that's just too big right there from Agassi.
Agassi has got the lead. 2 breaks, 3 love. It's 1 set all in this Grand Slam final.
Thinking about hair loss? Well, now there are more options available to men experiencing hair loss than ever before. Millions of men have already started using them, so what are you waiting for? Call 1-888-MERC36 to learn more about an FDA-approved hair loss treatment and about a special money-saving offer. Or call your doctor to discuss which treatment is best for you. The sooner you make an appointment to see your doctor, the better. Call 1-888-MERC36 to find out more about a clinically proven hair loss treatment and about a special money-saving offer. Stop just thinking about it. Call today. Merck, helping make hair loss history.
Continuing our look back now at one of Andre Agassi's 4 straight Grand Slam finals. Started with the French and then Wimbledon as he took the court against Pete Sampras of the USA. Sampras, though, said that he played maybe the best match he ever played that day.
Yeah, one of the best matches, best performances I've ever seen. And Sampras sending his condolences and giving Agassi a little knock there, but Agassi got it back the other night here. That huge 5-set win over Sampras. Well, that's the first backhand winner Kafelnikov's hit for a while. He came out of the gates in the first set with hitting this backhand consistently. This one drops just on the sideline. Questionable. It looked like it may have been out. But as you've noted throughout these couple weeks, Cliff, no even look at the umpire from Agassi.
Really interesting. He's so focused now. However, he's in trouble here. Love 30, but he's up 2 breaks. 3rd set. 3 love 30. Agassi gets one back at 15-30.
Well, clearly Agassi has been able to turn it around by cutting down on his unforced errors, working Kafelnikov a little more. 10 unforced in the first set, only 10 cents. And because of that, he hasn't lost his serve since that first set.
I just don't think now, as you watch these two playing these baseline rallies, Kafelnikov is 3, 4, 5 yards behind the baseline. Agassi stalking the baseline. Unless he gets the points over more quickly, like you were saying in the early stage of the match, he's going to come second quickly in this match. You have got to make it happen against Agassi. He doesn't miss anymore.
Kafelnikov gets a break there as the ball hits the net court and sits up for him. Agassi's still able to control the baseline points.
Break point for Kafelnikov.
Up 35-27, the American.
That is called good. 35-27 for the match, Patrick. For the second and third sets, it looks a lot worse for him. Kafelnikov, that is.
Well, Agassi just relentless now in forcing Kafelnikov to move. That one there, he rolls back deep. He wants these points to last long now.
Deuce.
And that's what it does. When you make the guy run a lot, you start to win a lot of cheap points. Just a mediocre first serve there. Kafelnikov trying to do too much with the return. Agassi now at game point for a 4-love lead.
That is why, Patrick, you sound like a boxing commentator when you say that, because, you know, it's like, hit me, baby, hit me, and get tired. I don't mind. Give it to me. And as it happened, this is really the case.
This is. I mean, this is Agassi's mentality now. He feels so confident in his fitness and all the training that he's done the last 2 years. All the hills that he's run just outside Vegas with his trainer, Gil Rest. All the work he's put in on the court. All the tournaments he played in '98 to get himself back into the top 10 to set up his year last year. He's reaping the rewards now.
And enjoying every minute of it.
The sheriff over there.
4 games to love. You're watching live coverage from the Rod Laver Arena, Melbourne Park, Melbourne, Australia, of the final best of 5 sets men's singles, the Australian Open. It's the number 1 and 2 seeds, Yevgeny Kafelnikov and Andre Agassi. First set to Kafelnikov, second to Agassi. This is the third set, 4 games to love, 2 breaks, obviously, for Agassi. Kafelnikov serving, Cliff Drysdale here, Patrick McEnroe alongside, and Malavia Washington at courtside.
I really thought Kafelnikov was going to be able to stop the rout in that last game. He had a couple of break points on Agassi, but he wasn't able to get the break.
In getting to this round, Agassi took out Mark Philippoussis, the big serving Australian who played Davis Cup for Australia. As I watch this replay, and the big one was when he took out Pete Sampras. In a match, Patrick McEnroe, that was what they have this thing here called the grand final. It's like the Super Bowl. They had for the ratings for the match with Agassi and Sampras as high and higher in Australia. Kafelnikov holds on 4-1, 2 breaks. Agassi will serve, and we come back to Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne.
St. Louis, Tennessee, and Super Bowl 34, Sunday on ABC.
Look, Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Ellie's renting again. And Enterprise picked her up again. She said Enterprise picks her up free. Free? Free. Now that makes renting easy.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Oh, baby.
Hey, Mr. Dinky's busy.
Hey, Dinky, I quit. Oh, no. Mr. Dinky, I'm not quitting. That was a joke, sir.
Look, Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Ellie's renting again. And Enterprise picked her up again. She said Enterprise picks her up free. Free? Free. Now that makes renting easy.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
ESPN's exclusive coverage of the Australian Open Men's Final is brought to you by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Call 1-800-RENT-A-CAR. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up. And by E-Trade, the #1 place to invest online. Agassi serving, leading 4-1.
15 all.
Kafelnikov is not going to win this set. He knows it. Agassi knows it. And just about everybody knows it. The only question now is whether he's going to make his move in the 4th set.
Hey, well, from the way he's looking and all the errors he's making, he should probably conserve some energy. And Agassi, look at him. He's just going to make him work. Agassi knows what he's thinking. He knows he wants to get this set over, so he's going to try to make him run a little bit more. But clearly, Kafelnikov is going to have to take some more chances, attack the second serve as the errors mount from Yevgeny. And he's going to have to just try to do that, hit some winners off the return. The last serve
didn't need much on that one, did he?
105 on the Porsche radar gun.
Another drop shot from Agassi for a winner, and he leads 5-1. He's on a roll here now in this Australian Open Finals. There's the Pacific Life Tournament summary.
Men's doubles champs Rick Leach, who got an extra bonus. He's going off to Zimbabwe for the Davis Cup. Raymond and Stubbs in the women's dubs, and Stubbsy again winning the mix. Huge run for her, doing it in her home country.
Nice to see Jared Palmer in the winner's circle again. He's a top-notch guy. He suffered with his injuries,
Had
too.
a few injuries over the last few years, yep. We got to the semifinals in doubles here in the men's doubles with Alex O'Brien.
A couple of times he's been foot faulted. Love 15. Yep. 15 all. The one thing I didn't want to see this afternoon here in Melbourne is Yevgeny Kafelnikov just going through the motions, because you've seen that from him from time to time when he doesn't think he can win. But that's not been that kind of match until these last 15, 20 minutes.
Man, you asked me at the beginning, Cliff, is Kafelnikov fit enough? And will that be a factor? And clearly I was pretty much off. I mean, I didn't think it really would be, but to get this tired this quickly, he's not showing me that much staying power now. As I've said, of course, Agassi works you harder than anyone. Kafelnikov should be able to hang in there a little bit longer. And these attempts from him are becoming more and more frequent. Agassi able to unleash some big returns, and also knowing that Kafelnikov just isn't moving as quickly now. Makes it a lot easier to go for your shots.
It's only an hour and 28 minutes into this match, actually. I mean, albeit that we're in the latter stages here, and this is game point for 5-2. 2 breaks to Agassi. It's been a quick match. Neither one of these two wasted a lot of time between points. Kafelnikov holds on, but Agassi has got a stranglehold on this set at least. He'll serve for it for the first time when we come back live to Melbourne.
Hey girls, come here. I'm the 1-800-COLLECT advice guy.
We're out of town. And out of cash.
Call Dad, he'll wire you more. Use 1-800-COLLECT and save him a buck or two. He'll think you're responsible.
Yeah, excellent.
1-800-COLLECT. Save a buck or two.
If you're driving around with some cut-rate car insurance and you get into an accident, that's when it hits you. There's no State Farm agent to turn to for help. So, the choice is yours. Get yourself a State Farm agent.
Please continue holding.
Or get left out in the cold.
Hey girls, come here. I'm the 1-800-COLLECT advice guy.
We're out of town. And out of cash.
Call Dad, he'll wire you more. Use 1-800-COLLECT and save him a buck or two. He'll think you're responsible.
Yeah, excellent.
1-800-COLLECT. Save a buck or two.
Welcome back to the Rod Laver Arena, Melbourne Park, the Australian Open, this first Grand Slam of the year, men's singles final, and Agassi is looking very solid at the moment. He has not lost his serve in 8 tries. This is for the set, to go up 2 sets to 1.
And Agassi serving with new ball, so often see the players go for those wide serve. They really skip through the court, especially here with the conditions in Melbourne Park. Very fast, the ball's very quick. Kafelnikov with clean return there. Able to connect with that one. Agassi has really picked on that Kafelnikov forehand. There it is again. He's got a lot of free points going to the Russians' forehand side. It's his 5th ace. And the free points in the deuce court. 11 wide. That's to the forehand, the ad court. There's many freebies over there. And that's just a fatigue attempt there. Look at this. Kafelnikov's there, but he tried to take one big step instead of an extra 1 or 2 little ones.
Set points. Kafelnikov says you can have it. Agassi says I will take it. Steffi Graf is happy about it. Andre Agassi leads 2 sets to 1.
The world's first active head restraint, designed to reduce whiplash. From Saab.
Love the athletes and stars here to celebrate. Hotel rooms are comfort, the minibar ain't. Greatest time sports, gonna be a heck of a time.
Celebrate the greatest athletes of the decade live from the MGM Grand, February 14th at 8 p.m. on ESPN.
Last year, Bruce Fleischer captured the Royal Caribbean crown. Now with modified Stableford scoring, the other top seniors hope the sun sets on his glory. From Key Biscayne, Florida, the Royal Caribbean Classic. Coverage begins Friday at 2 on ESPN.
For Andre Agassi, he is just 1 set away from his second, rather, consecutive Grand Slam final win. He leads it now by 2-1 at the U.S. Open. In the final, he took out Todd Martin after beating Evgeny Kafelnikov in the semifinal. It was a rough one with Martin, though, Patrick.
Well, Martin played as well as he could play and won the middle 2 sets against Agassi, but Agassi stayed with it and wore the big fella down, winning it going away in the 5th. For Agassi's second U.S. Open championship.
Agassi 26-1 in 4 Grand Slam tournaments. This is his 4th straight Grand Slam final, starting at the French last year. He lost, the only one he lost was to Sampras. Yep. Wimbledon in the final. He won the U.S. Open, and he's 1 set away from winning this. Uh-oh, we've got somebody.
This guy.
Well, what do we got here?
We got some freako.
Yeah, you'll be awfully pretty in a hurry.
He's got his mask on. We can't figure out who he is. Mal remembers this. Remember at Wimbledon, right before the Wimbledon final that Mal played, we had the streaker. What are we going to call this guy, Cliff?
Well, hardly a streaker. He's fully clothed. But what is he taking pictures out there or something? I guess he
actually had a video camera, and he was just making weird sounds, and he just ran onto the court. If the streaker was at Wimbledon, I think we can just call this guy nuts.
Man, oh man.
You want to buy the videotape of what he took? I mean, how crazy is that? Okay, settle down.
Thinks he's at a boxing match or something.
He's going to get publicity. I mean, he's going to be all over the papers tomorrow morning here. Which is a pity. I wish every newspaper would just say, let's totally ignore the clown. I mean, they've got the photographer in there, obviously, are taking pictures of him.
Well, nothing's going to get in the way of Agassi's focus. You can see from that first point, continuing to work over Kafelnikov.
15, first game, 4th set.
That's what Kafelnikov's got to do to have any chance in this match, is step in, try to flatten out some ground strokes and win some quick points. Keeps playing long points and letting Agassi work him over. And the engraver better start getting ready with that trophy. Putting Agassi's name on it for the 2nd time.
$30-15. They both come from sporting families, these two. Evgeny Kafelnikov's dad, Alexander, was a member of the top Soviet volleyball club, TSKA, the Central Army Club, and he spent months touring Russia for the club. And as for Andre Agassi, his dad was an Olympic boxer for Iran. That one is finally out of reach, and even Agassi looked a little tired at the end of that point.
Well, he's recovering so much more quickly, though. When they have long points like this, it affects Kafelnikov for a while afterwards. This time, even after Kafelnikov wins this, would have slumped his shoulders. Agassi reveling in the tough points from the baseline.
Agassi with a pass, and it is even. Deuce. First game, fourth set.
And the key to how fit you are is how you can come back after tough point after tough point. And look at how Agassi does it here. On the dead run with a forehand pass.
Kafelnikov is in serious trouble now in this match. He's down a break point. He hasn't broken Agassi in a long time, not since the first set.
All those breaks for Kafelnikov came in set number 1.
Yeah, he needs this game, otherwise you can sense there's a sort of an inevitability about this match if he goes down early. His best performance, one of them anyway, till he won it last year at the Australian Open. You remember when that's nice. Remember when Kafelnikov played Sampras here? Sampras had never seen the first time they'd ever played, and Sampras after that match said, this guy hits the ball as hard as anybody I've ever played against, and talked about him like he was a potential #1 in the world. Well, he made it all the way to #1. But he is down a break again. This is second break point of this game. A frustrated Yevgeny Kafelnikov and a happy Andre Agassi. Mal is at courtside.
Well, Cliff, without question, fitness has definitely become a factor in this match for both players. But I know from personal experience and with playing Andre Agassi, and I always thought I was one of the fitter players on the tour. He makes you work so hard, and even after just 2 sets, you know you've worked. I think for Yevgeny right now, it's just a relentless barrage of shots coming from Agassi, and that's where it's given him a lot of problems.
And now Kafelnikov doesn't get the break after the first game in the set. They just changed size. He's still winded. And this is where Agassi can really extend the lead now.
You know, Patrick, I want to ask you, or I want to ask Mal what Kafelnikov can do to tip, but I can't, because there is no answer to that. He's not going to be able to turn this around.
No, I don't think so. Unless something miraculous happens, Agassi gets hurt. I mean, he is just relentless right now, Andre.
15 love, 1 game to love, 2 sets to 1.
Remember that match he played here a couple years ago, Cliff, that we did Agassi losing to Beresitegi. And he'd won the first couple sets, Agassi, and he started to try to toy with his opponent a little bit. Ended up getting burned, losing it in 5. Of course, it's a different Agassi now, but it's a different mentality from Agassi now. He continues. Look at that. He makes Kafelnikov work with the low volley, then goes up high. Gun goes low again. He just wants to make him suffer now.
Well, that's one way you can win points against Agassi.
Well, Cliff, to answer your question, as you take another look at this forehand winner, I mean, if I were Kafelnikov, I'd really just try to do something to get Andre out of his rhythm. Maybe slow the pace down a little bit. I did like the idea 2 points ago where he tried to come in, but once again, Agassi relentless in coming up with the shots when he needs them.
You know, you see that drop shot from Andre Agassi. It's so interesting because you talked to Jim Courier about his early days, and he said that he was a bit of a hot dog trying like drop shots and stuff like that. You don't see that much now from Agassi.
This is like a drill right now. I mean, this is like a go for the short ball, get the overhead, come back in for the volley. This is one of those drills you do to kill yourself. Agassi's doing it repeatedly to Kafelnikov.
Agassi has always treated tennis as more than a sport, as an entertainment, and he has a certain charisma about him that transcends tennis. It truly does. And it's almost like being at a rock concert watching him play. Now, those extraneous things you don't see as much from him, if ever. But his game speaks for itself. Game point. Two games to love, 2 sets to 1. Agassi in his 4th straight Grand Slam final.
Agassi leads 2 games to 1.
And if he wins this one, he will have won 3 out of 4. It's amazing.
And you certainly, when you look at the rest of the year, you have to think that he's got a shot to win each one coming up. The way his confidence is soaring after every win.
Thank you. Could you please send a home
Here's the run in the last 4 Grand Slams. 26-1. That's the first since the Rocket Rod Laver to make all 4 finals. That was in '69, second of Laver's Grand Slams. Ace number 9 for Kafelnikov.
Agassi very much in control. 2 games to 1, 2 sets to 1. Agassi. For Kafelnikov, it has been a frustrating day.
Together, and shopping for a home system is something Sony can help you do. So just call 1-877-295-SONY and we'll send you a free personal home entertainment planner which includes a buyer's guide, so you'll know exactly what you need to know before you shop. The planner also comes with a complete listing of all the products that make up the Sony home entertainment universe. To get started on yours, call toll-free 1-877-295-SONY and we'll help you through the process.
Second round, the round of 16 here at this Australian Open. It was Mark Philippoussis of Australia, the big server, and all of Australia was interested and excited by this match. He got a set from Agassi, but when it was all over, it was Agassi through to the next round.
And then he took on Pete Sampras in the semifinal. Incredible match that was, that 4-set tiebreak. Agassi really raised his level, and Sampras going down in that 5th set, 6-1. Now Agassi 4 games away from another major.
Is this the same guy who about a year and 4 days ago lost to Vince Spady in the quarterfinals of the Australian Open?
That's a tough question. Well, he was in the middle of his personal problems, his divorce with Brooke Shields, and Agassi are starting to get into the middle of it. And that that certainly affected him psychologically in that match. And as you said earlier, Cliff, when he came back from that loss to Spadia, he had rededicated himself, but he decided he had to take it to another level physically and with his dedication, and that is exactly what he did. And it was amazing that he almost didn't even show up at the French Open. And he had that shoulder injury, and 2 days before Roland Garros started, there was a big question about whether Agassi was going to play. Pulled out of the World Team Championships in Dusseldorf the week before. Almost lost in the second round against Arnaud Clément. Was 2 points away from losing that match. Was a set and 2 breaks down against Moya in the fourth round. And 2 sets down in the final against Medvedev. It has not been an easy road for Agassi to get back to where he is now.
Patrick, all of those wins you just mentioned, you know what that tells me? He is mentally on his game when he walks out onto the tennis court.
Still game point. He's definitely mentally there, but where Agassi gets his mental strength and his attitude is from doing the work physically. I mean, he's always been like that, and the times in his career when he's gone down is when he hasn't worked hard physically, and he didn't go out there thinking that he could hang and play long, tough points. I mean, now it's almost like he wants to play those. He wants to prove how focused and fit he is.
One break here in the fourth. Deuce.
This may be the last chance here for Kafelnikov, Cliff. Getting it back to deuce. A couple of unforced errors from Agassi.
Ooh. Again, the high part of the net. But Agassi now makes it look so simple.
But again, on the big point, Agassi collects himself, good first serve. He's able to hit it over the high part of the net so routinely. Most players will have to give themselves a little more room on that, not Agassi.
That one sails wide. Deuce.
See if Agassi looks to swing it out wide again on the forehand where he's had most of his success. Another great serve right on the line.
Kafelnikov took out Enquist here last year in the final, lost one set and then came roaring back when he won his Roland Garros French Open title. It was 96. He took out Michael Stick there in straight sets. Deuce.
So Kafelnikov's able to read that serve in the ad court to the forehand side, but the deuce one, Agassi's been mixing it up a lot more. And also because Kafelnikov gets pulled out wide, he knows if he doesn't have a great return, he's going to have a lot of territory to cover. Like right there.
He wants a call, he's not going to get one.
And that was on the line there. Kafelnikov pointing at a mark.
Got the edge.
And a nice look at it from this camera here. There's the mark. Looks like it hit the line.
That's wide. Kafelnikov's putting up a fight in this game. Steffi Graf, 22-time slam holder, including the Golden Slam, the Olympic Games, and a 4-time winner of this event. In fact, she won every one at least 4 times. Game point, Agassi.
And that time he mixed it up and went up the middle. Kafelnikov was leaning for the wide one. Agassi continuing to use his head and mix up the serve. The Porsche radar gun at 109. Probably kick one out wide here and make Kafelnikov work. Kafelnikov here, if he kicks it out there, unless he hits a great return, he's going to have to cover.
Agassi holds on, and he's got 3 games to 1 in the 4th set. He has 2 sets under his belt. We are heading toward Africa for the first round of the Davis Cup. USA and Zimbabwe. The winningest Davis Cup player for the USA is now its captain. He also happens to be the brother of my buddy Patrick McNamara, sitting alongside me, and we are looking forward to this one as Andre Agassi will represent the USA. Pete Sampras is out. Good stretch, and that one is out of reach, but just out of reach. 40 love Kafelnikov.
Agassi just continuing to let Kafelnikov know that he's going to run after every ball here, even up 2 sets to 1 in a break.
Agassi will serve, and we come back to this live coverage of the Australian Open men's singles final from Melbourne.
What a dream. I'm at this huge bash, naked, but no one noticed.
Surt's Cool Mint Drops with Repton. It's clean, fresh breath that lets you feel very comfortable. Be certain with Surt's.
I just hope it's healthy. I hope they're playing land safely. I don't want to go to the hospital anymore.
I wish I could get my email out.
I wish my network had more bandwidth.
I hope we get 1 million hits.
Never stay out of here.
I wish I could have done more.
I wish I had more time.
Agilent Technologies. Dreams made real.
There's always a combination of taking your knowledge and applying it. For example, I know who the shooter is. I know what he does, what he thinks, under stress, how he'll act, what's his favorite thing to do, what's his least favorite thing to do. And I got most of my rebounds before he took the shot.
Knowledge is the edge. Take the Growth and Income Fund from Invesco. You should know what Invesco knows.
We're in Melbourne for the Australian Open, the men's singles final. One of the gang of 4, Andre Agassi, Michael Chang, Pete Sampras, Jim Courier, still standing here, and he has never flown higher than he is at the moment. He's 29 years old, and in April, end of April, he'll be 30. He is fitter, stronger, quicker, more focused, and hitting the ball more cleanly than he's ever done before.
It's amazing, you know, after last year when I spoke to Andre at the World Championship, the last tournament of the year in November in Germany, I said, you must be looking forward to the off season, you know, relaxing after such a great year. And he said, no, I'm looking forward to the off season because I want to work harder, get fitter, get stronger, and get quicker. And I said, how can this happen? Did this guy get any better? The answer is most definitely. And he said he is feeling like he's hitting the ball more cleanly and crisply than he ever has.
$30-15, 3-2, 2 sets to 1 Agassi. In the semi-final, Agassi on Thursday night here in Australia took on and beat Pete Sampras in just a beautifully played match. It was as the ball was hit there as well as it can be hit on the tennis court by 2 players. It also had the thrill of being so close A long tiebreak in the 4th set for Agassi to level the match and then run away with it in the 5th.
See, Agassi throws that toss-up as if he's going to hit the kicker out wide and slides it up the middle for his 6th ace.
The defending champion is in trouble. The last man who was able to defend his title here, as Andre Agassi takes the lead and keeps it in the 4th, was this man, Jim Courier, as he took on Stefan Edberg.
Game 7.
Courier repeated as champion here, and he repeated the dive that he took in the dirty Yarra River to celebrate.
We didn't mind that it was a little murky in there.
15.
Courier has defended his title, the French Open champ Bruguera in 93, repeated it in 94, and Rafter twice. That's probably the most surprising of all, Patrick Rafter.
Twice at the U.S. Open, yeah.
Sampras, a perennial winner at Wimbledon.
Won it 6 out of the last 7 years.
The Dutchman, Krajicek, the only man to beat him in all those years. 4-2, Agassi leads, 15 all. Lindsay Davenport, a winner yesterday here for the women's singles. She's headed home, and I bet she's having a nice plane ride over Hingis.
Well, she's not heading home, actually. She's heading to Tokyo, Cliff, for the tournament there. Women's event.
The world is home for Lindsay.
The plane is home.
That is a good play from Kafelnikov. He got Agassi out wide. He playing 2 one-handed backhands. The second one, he definitely wanted to hit with a little bit of slice. That one there to change things up. But then the Russian was the winner down the line, and it is game point for the Kafelnikov.
Maybe Kafelnikov has to say nice shot to that one. That's the one that the Russian has had trouble with, that forehand return out wide. Agassi says this is how you do it. You step into the court, you turn your shoulders. Right on the line.
That is just amazing.
I mean, what's amazing is the work that Agassi continues to do. Despite being up a break, he could easily just serve this thing out, but he moves so quickly to get to this forehand right here. That was a great scramble. Keeps himself in the point, and then a remarkable cross-court backhand.
That one is out of reach. The one before that, Patrick, was so deep, and he was still able to come across it with that two-hander. He's got such good racket head control. You know, they have this game here called cricket, and what they used to say about the greatest batsman of all, I'll tell you after this. A guy by the name of Don Bradman, and here's the quote. It's very simple. Don sees the ball 2 yards sooner than the rest of us. That's amazing. I feel the same way about Agassi. I think he just sees the ball 2 yards sooner than anyone else.
No, you're right about that. And again, watch the way he steps into the court to make this drop shot a little easier. He knows Kafelnikov's out wide. It looks like he's going to hit the big one. And he's really hitting that beautifully, that dropper. We saw 3 off the backhand. Now he shows he can do it off the forehand.
I mean, he's using it judiciously, but I can't remember one that he's lost.
No, he's been 4 for 4.
Now a break point, and that's why Agassi wanted to try so hard, Patrick, in this game, because if he breaks here, this thing is history. He doesn't have to worry about serving it out, or he's going to have to still serve it out, but he's got 2 shots at it. Break point.
He's just so in the zone now, Agassi. Mentally, that every point, every game, as Brad Gilbert knows, he's 5 points away. He plays like it's the biggest game of the match. There were times when Agassi would get up a break on you and he'd just flail away, go for some big shots. That gives the opponent a little bit of confidence. Like maybe if you stay in there, you can get back in the match.
Second serve break point for a double break.
So that goes down as a forehand error, but you know, sometimes when we do the stats here, that can be a little misleading. I mean, that's a huge forehand from Kafelnikov that forces that error. I wouldn't consider that an unforced error from Agassi. And that I'd put down as an unforced error. Double fault number 8. But the reason that Kafelnikov is feeling the pressure is obviously because Agassi's all over him every point. Larry Stefanki knows that the writing's on the wall now.
That goes wide. Agassi, one game away if he can get the break here for another Grand Slam title, which would be 3 out of 4.
Oh,
yes. Break point again.
That's just a brilliant shot there. On a dead run, able to control a heavily hit backhand right here from Kafelnikov and hit it right in the corner.
He got it. Close.
That's a play I thought we'd see more of from Yevgeny throughout the course of this match. Being able to get Andre on the run and see him go to the one-handed backhand and just sneak in. It hasn't worked very well for him this match.
See the net points won. Kafelnikov a lot more up there than Agassi. It's a low first serve percentage is what's hurt Kafelnikov.
Game point Kafelnikov.
I was just going to say, I mean, you give it Agassi a second serve and he plays that type of point. How can you get to net? A great job from Yevgeny to hang in here. Look where Agassi is stalking that baseline, looking for the option, the opportunity to finish it. Good job by the Russian.
Game point, second serve. Double fault. Semi-final match between Agassi and Sampras was a classic, and it'll go down as a classic. If you did not get to see it, it's a pity because it was really something to watch. This has been sparkling tennis as well, but be assured that Agassi and Sampras are the class of the field, and you'll get to see them play again this year, because I'm convinced that rivalry will dominate this year on the world tennis scene. Break point. But this has been a very, very well played match also.
Finally, Kafelnikov wins the cheap point. Working very hard here to at least stay in this fourth set, Kafelnikov. But Agassi again, he just won't give anything away.
How often would you see Pete walk away from a game like this knowing that he's got a couple of his serve games to come. But your point is well taken. Not Agassi.
8th deuce of this game. Longest one of the match.
He's... Oh! Neither one is giving up.
Well, this is the first time Kafelnikov's done this play, coming down the middle. And some great net coverage there. Beautiful stab.
Game point, Kafelnikov.
It's amazing how Agassi comes back after losing tough points. Right away, he looks to work Kafelnikov. Such a mental toll this must be taking on Yevgeny.
This is the 23rd point of the game. It's been 10 minutes in the making. This is the longest game of the match by a long way.
Ace number 11 for Kafelnikov.
The match has lasted just 2 hours and 9 minutes now. That is good. Agassi hesitates, waiting for a call. He doesn't get one, so he goes to the sideline. He will serve, leading 4-3 in the fourth, and 2 sets to 1.
They're the largest creatures on Earth. They've adapted and evolved with strength and determination. The kind of strength that helps the Pacific Life family of companies manage more than $300 billion for its clients. And determination that has guided Pacific Life for 130 years. Size, strength, longevity, offering annuities, insurance and investments. Use the power of Pacific Life.
What a dream. I'm at this huge bash. Naked, but no one noticed.
Surt's Cool Mint Drops with Repsin. It's clean, fresh breath that lets you feel very comfortable. Be certain with Surt's.
Andre Agassi, now a man for all seasons and a man for all surfaces. He's trying to make the Australian Open for the second time, and last year in the spring in Paris, he made it all 4 Grand Slams by winning the French Championships. Then after a final effort at Wimbledon, in the fall in New York, in the final, it was a 5-set marathon match. Sampras over, Agassi over Todd Martin. Now he is trying to make it 3 Grand Slam titles in 4 tries. Summertime in Melbourne, it is 4:22 in the afternoon, Sunday afternoon. Yevgeny Kafelnikov trailing Agassi 2 sets to 1. Agassi leading 4-3 with a break in the fourth. So he's 2 games away. And he had break points in the last serve game, Kafelnikov. Big return, 15-all.
In these first 2 points here in this game, I can really see a difference in Kafelnikov. You see him bouncing on his toes a little bit. You take another look at this big forehand return. It looks like he's just picked up the pace on his shots in these first 2 points. I think he really feels this might be his last chance.
And he has the chance now because of what happened in the last game. Agassi had break points and couldn't convert. Now, a slight opening for Kafelnikov. It's 15-30.
And in a sense, it gives Yevgeny a little bit of momentum after coming off that last game. Agassi throws in a double fault, and here you go, 15-30.
But you really have to win the points against Agassi as Steffi Graf. It's been in many moments like this. Brad Gilbert there looking down many times that Agassi gets down. He doesn't give anything away now. You have to hit a huge ball to win the point. There again, good first serve, right on the attack with the first ball. 2 quickies for Agassi to get to game point.
Kafelnikov knows what you just said, Patrick, and he started out the first set doing exactly that. Getting in as early as he could and getting first strike behind him. He won the set, but since then it's been Agassi 6-3, 6-2, now 4-3.
He just backed off ever so slightly, Kafelnikov.
What about nerves? Does Agassi have nerves?
Doesn't seem like it anymore. It really doesn't. I mean, anytime he plays a tight point here and there, as he holds to go up 5-3 in the fourth, 1 game away, he just seems to come back. I just think he knows that he's put in the work. That gives him so much confidence. And now, of course, he's playing so many big matches so often, and he's forced Kafelnikov into a whole bunch of errors. It gets a little bit easier, doesn't it, Cliff, in big matches when you're now playing in 4 straight Grand Slam finals.
He's been there before. Listen to what he says about playing here in the center court after this. He says it's quite a feeling out there, almost like you're at a concert. Your ears are ringing and you can't really hear. You can't even hear yourself grunt. It's quite an atmosphere. But then he says, in some strange way, it's incredibly silent in your mind. Maybe that silence in your mind is what carries you through the tough times.
What hitting there from Agassi, taking the pace of Kafelnikov.
You talk about the nerves of Agassi as you take another look at this point. Big forehand by Andre. I've always felt that he is as well as a guy like Jim Curry, or maybe the tighter the moments were, the bigger they actually hit the ball. I think that was their way of getting rid of some of their nerves. They really kept going for their shots.
Mal Washington at courtside. Cliff Drysdale, Patrick McEnroe up here. Game point, Kafelnikov. Fourth set, and Kafelnikov holds on. Agassi leads 5-4. He's going to serve for the championship and his second straight Grand Slam title when we come back live to Melbourne.
Watch NHL tonight on ESPN2.
The new Boxster S. Even heaven has its moments of hell.
Did you know it could actually cost you more to call your state capital than your nation's capital?
I did not know that.
It's true. But with Sprint Nickel Nights Anywhere, in-state and out-of-state calls are all the same nickel all night long. Nickel across the state, nickel across the country.
It's almost too easy.
Sprint Nickel Nights Anywhere. You do the math. We'll do the geography. Switch to Sprint at 1-800-PIN-DROP.
This is Melbourne Park, the retractable roof. This is the Rod Laver Arena. And this is Andre Agassi on the brink of history. He has 3 Grand Slam titles under his belt out of 4 if he wins the next 4 points. He won the French. He won the US Open. And he could hold this Australian Open title in a minute.
15. And he starts it off emphatically, Agassi. Not trying to spin it in, not play it safely. Knowing now is the time to raise his level, just as he did in that tiebreak against Sampras in the fourth set. Down 4-5, the Porsche radar going 117. He had 2 huge serves to get himself to set point. And he has such a confidence in that serve now. 2 points away.
Yeah, he hasn't lost it in a while.
No, 3 times he lost serve in the first set. And since then, and just absolutely unbreakable. And in every way do I mean that. His game, his will, and look at this. That might be the biggest serve he's hit all day. Talk about the adrenaline. Triple championship point for Agassi. We can give him a little bit of nerves, Cliff. Just a little.
He's one swing away.
Game.
He's taking his bows and he's enjoying the moment, and who can deny him? Steffi Graf watches in obvious tremendous enthusiasm as Agassi took out Philippoussis, then took out Hisham Arazi in the quarterfinals, and then in an extraordinary display took out Pete Sampras. Yevgeny Kafelnikov today played a good match. He's just no match for this Andre Agassi.
And you get the sense that Agassi really humbled by all that he's now accomplishing in tennis and his place in history. You're right, Kafelnikov, he played about as well as he can play, but Agassi now, he's just the best player in the world, and he is chasing some serious records now.
Malavia Washington's at courtside. He has been watching this drama and this history from very close. Mal?
Cliff, without question, Andre Agassi is the best tennis player in the world right now. I had a little doubt about that last year, even though he finished #1. Pete beat him 4 or 5 times. I don't think anyone has any doubt that Andre is not only the #1 player in the world, but the best player in the world. In 2 consecutive matches, he takes down the #3 player and #2 player. Well done, Agassi.
Yesterday, the USA's Lindsay Davenport taking out the top player in the world, Martina Hingis. She is not yet the #1 on the computer, but she will be very shortly. And today, Andre Agassi solidifying his position at the top of the tennis world and in the top of the tennis rankings and the computer rankings. It has been nothing short of a brilliant display from the start. He came down here prepared, and you have the feeling that he will leave here prepared, and the next time we will see him, Patrick, will be Davis Cup competition against Zimbabwe in Harare starting Friday.
And how about the way he finishes it off with 3 aces? Look at the reaction from his camp. Best serving of the day, Agassi saved for the final game, and he will be in Zimbabwe. He will be ready to go there. And how about looking ahead to the Grand Slams the rest of the year? Can we talk Grand Slam possibilities for Agassi this year, the whole thing?
And how about the continued rivalry with Sampras? Back live in a minute.
Discover the amazing training secrets of America's finest baseball school with Dynamic Practice Organization, a revolutionary new instructional videotape. Dynamic Practice Organization features professional scout and instructor Tommy Mansky with his famous building block approach to athletic training. This exciting instructional videotape features the same drills, techniques, and methods that have produced baseball world's back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams. Dynamic Practice Organization makes any coach look like a genius and organizes offensive and defensive practices that players of all ages and ability levels can't wait to attend. And immensely improves team communication skills and even conditioning. This is the instructional video that's a winner. To order your copy for only $29.95, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-554-9000. This Dynamic Practice Organization teaching video makes a great gift, too. Call now, 1-800-554-9000.
Oh, I feel like I'm 18 again.
Yeah, me too. You'd think I'd feel awful after blowing our retirement money.
What?
Yeah, it's gone.
All of it?
Yeah, I decided to invest our money by myself.
What are we going to live on?
Hey, fresh air, sunshine, what else do we need? You know, money is highly overrated.
Next time, don't go it alone. Ask your financial advisor about the fund so many financial experts choose. Alliance Capital, the investment professional's choice.
Rivalry Week tips off on Big Monday.
Big Monday? I thought you said Wig Monday.
Oh, First up, it's a Big East classic when Eric Barkley and the Johnnies jam with Jason Hart and Hughes. Then, Texas's Gabe Manecki and Oklahoma's Eduardo Naharam meet in the low post. And at midnight, Lamont Long leads the Lobos against the Utes. St. John, Syracuse at 7, Texas, Oklahoma at 9, New Mexico, Utah at midnight. Big Monday, presented by Bud Light. Monday on ESPN.
Andre Agassi of the USA has beaten Evgeny Kafelnikov. The ceremony is just about to start. Agassi now has 6 Grand Slam titles under his belt. It all started at the most unlikely one of all. In 1992 at the Wimbledon final, Andre Agassi took out the big serving Croat Goran Ivanisevic. 6-7, 6-4, 6-4, then 1-6. It was so close in the 5th set. That volley error from the Croat, and Agassi had won his first Grand Slam.
The next one was a 1994 U.S. Open. And remember, Agassi that year came in unseeded, but he stormed his way through the field at Flushing Meadow against Michael Schiek in the final. It was all Andre, 6-1, 7-6, and 7-5. Agassi with his first U.S. Open title.
The following year, in 95, in Australia, Andre Agassi, seeded number 2, took on Pete Sampras, seeded number 1 in the final here at Melbourne Park. It was Agassi over Sampras in 4, 6-4 in the 4th set.
And then the one that really made history when Agassi completed the career Grand Slam was last year on the red dirt of Roland Garros in Paris. From 2 sets down, Agassi fulfilled a lifelong dream and won it 1-6, 2-6, 6-4, 6-3, and 6-4.
But he wasn't finished yet at the 1999 U.S. Open final. Agassi and Todd Martin down 2-1. He comes back in set 4, 6-3 for Agassi, and then 6-2. Last year he won 2 slams, played the final at Wimbledon against Sampras in a losing effort, but he has now, after having won the Australian Open this year, has won 3 of the last 4 Grand Slams. Andre Agassi, a man for all surfaces, as we've already said. For him, a brilliant display here today in Melbourne as he takes out Evgeny Kafelnikov after losing the first set.
Well, clearly Agassi is nowhere near being done yet, and didn't he make that statement emphatically here in the first major of the year? And he did not do it the easy way. Philippoussis in 4, Sampras in 5, and now Kafelnikov in 4. Take those bows, Andre.
It puts him in a very elite list. Take a look at that. Agassi has won 6. This is Grand Slam 1 since 1946. You can see Lendl and Connors, Rosewall, McEnroe, Wieland, and Newcomb, Becker, and Edberg joining Agassi in that elite list. This may not be the end for Agassi. It's the end here as the winner But I think it may just be the beginning, as you have suggested, Patrick McEnroe, for the year. The closing ceremonies are underway. Australian Open director Jeff Pollard.
The Rod Laver Arena at Melbourne Park. And of course, by winning the first title of 2000, you're the only person who can this year achieve the real Grand Slam of all four, and we wish you good luck for the year 2000. Evgeny, of course, one of the hardest working players on the tour. He plays more matches than any other player. Champion here last year. During the last year, he reached the world #1 ranking. Evgeny, I'm sure you're going to win a lot more championships, but congratulations on your performance today. Ladies and gentlemen, the Australian Open just continues to grow here in Australia and worldwide. And I'm pleased to advise that from our host broadcaster, Channel 7, the TV reach internationally now goes to 175 territories, 3,050 hours worldwide, and 545 million households as the viewership. The internet through IBM is over 200 million hits, and the total crowd for the past fortnight was 501,251. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand this is the highest attended annual sporting event in the world. And to all of you from Australia, Melbourne, Australia and overseas, I want to thank you for your great support of Australian Open 2000. Next year, we'll have the multi-purpose venue for you. But I'd like to finally thank the team at Tennis Australia, led by Australian Open Chief Executive Paul McNamee and the referee Peter Bellinger, all the staff, the umpires, the linespersons, the ball persons, drivers, court services, ushers, security, volunteers, St John's Ambulance, everyone that has helped make this a great event. And I do particularly want to thank Ford, who've been our sponsor for 15 years, President of Ford, Jeff Polides, to you and your team at Ford, thank you for your tremendous support. Associate sponsor, Heineken, Channel 7, who have been fantastic, and we will look forward to a great 2001. Thank you all.
Jeff, thank you. And now to the presentations of a man who left this court last year as the champion, this year the runner-up, gallant in defeat, Evgeny Kafelnikov.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately my run here on this wonderful court come to an end. But I feel no regret to losing to such a wonderful athlete like Andre Agassi. You know, he definitely proved last year that, you know, he still has some enthusiasm in him, and he is going to play at least 3 more years until he retired. I hope so. First of all, I'd like to say thank you to the main sponsors, Ford, Heineken, and Channel 7, for running such a wonderful event. And I think by far it's the most enjoyable Grand Slam that I like to participate in. I'd like also to take this opportunity to dedicate this runner-up trophy to my coach Larry, who has been wonderful to me last 14 months, and to my family back home. You know, they really support me very, very hard. And I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I deserve a couple of Heineken after this match. And of course, looking forward to see you next year. And you know, you guys are gonna see me in 8 months of period of time in the Olympic Games in Sydney. See you guys.
Thank you, Evgeny. Well, he won here in 1995, 3 years before he won Wimbledon. In 1994, the US title. Last year, in a stunning year, the French Open and the US title. He's now on his 6th Grand Slam singles title. He is simply Andre the Magnificent. Ladies and gentlemen, our champion, Andre Agassi.
Thank you. Hey, mind your business. First, I'd like to congratulate Y-Man here on a great tournament. It's not easy coming back to a slam, defending champion, and playing as hard as he did this week. Certainly proves that he's not only a champion, but he'll be probably winning more of these. So great playing these past 2 weeks, Evgeny. I guess I first want to thank you, Brad. Thank you for helping direct my tennis and giving me the opportunity to achieve so many dreams out here. Thank you, Brad. I also like to thank my trainer Gil for training me so hard and giving me the strength to come out here and compete against the world's best in pretty tough conditions. And thanks for giving me 2 hours of your time on Christmas Eve as we trained. And thanks for being so patient and teaching me that my best is good enough all the time. And that I promise you, you'll always have my best. Thank you, Gil. And to all my loved ones back home, I'll be back in a couple weeks. I expect a party. But last but certainly not least, I just want to say thank you, Australia, because your support of tennis is everything that we play for, and I can't tell you how much the players appreciate playing in such a not only enthusiastic crowd, but such a knowledgeable tennis crowd. And I tell you what, it gives you the energy to keep on working, because it's things like this that make you, playing in front of you is what makes you glad you're alive. And thank you for everything you've given the game of tennis, and I look forward to coming back next year.
Andre Agassi of the USA joins Lindsay Davenport in the winner's circle as the two singles winners here at this first Grand Slam of the year in Melbourne from the Rod Laver Arena. We'll be back with more after this.
Hi, I'm here in Washington, D.C. because I want women to know that the government has quota programs for women entrepreneurs who need money to start or expand a business. You know why? Because 2 out of every 3 businesses that start today are started by women. And women are more successful at starting businesses than men are. Women can get grants, loans, contracts, and free help to start any kind of business. And what did you get?
I got a government contract for $3 million. Oh, my. Wow.
There's money for rich women. There's money for low-income women. There's even money for child care while you take classes to start your own business. And you?
I got over $2 million in government contracts for my training company.
And you?
$400,000 in sales.
And you?
A $50,000 loan to purchase my warehouse.
If you're a woman, you should be spending more time doing the things you love, and I'll show you how to get the money and help to do it.
Call 1-800-544-1000. That's 1-800-544-1000 and get your share of government money. Money back guaranteed if not completely satisfied. Order now.
Eyes of a puppy dog. Lips made for sin. You're not dreaming. I'm for real. We gotta call.
Hello.
Louis?
Yeah?
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines coast to coast for $99 or less when you purchase tickets by February 2nd and travel Tuesday, Wednesday, and Saturday.
You are now free to move about the country.
In tennis, the advantage of the two-handed backhand is obviously power because you're using both hands. But it also is deceiving because in a split second you can change the direction of the ball that you hit. Your opponent never knows if you're going to rifle it down the line or rip it cross court, and I like that.
Knowledge is the edge. Take the Growth and Income Fund from Invesco. You should know what Invesco knows.
For the record books, it is Andre Agassi of the USA who has won this first Grand Slam of the year 2000, and he won it in 4 sets over Yevgeny Kafelnikov of Russia, 6-4 in the 4th set. Now time for the prostatonen between the lines. Patrick?
Well, just as we expected, Cliff, Andre Agassi dominating from the baseline and with his consistency. The first serve setting it up, letting Agassi get in control of the points. Here's that big forehand up the line. He's just got too much firepower off the ground, forcing too many errors. You see it there, 60-42. And look at the errors from Kafelnikov. That's all because of the power of the Agassi ground strokes.
So the champions here, and let's celebrate them. It is Lindsay Davenport, 3-0 in Grand Slam finals now. And Andre Agassi has won 3 of the 4 last Grand Slams. That's the Pacific Life Tournament summary from down under in Melbourne, Australia. We're now heading to Zimbabwe for the first round of the Davis Cup. USA and Zimbabwe from Harare. On Friday at noon, you can see 2 singles matches and then coverage throughout the weekend. Coming up next here on ESPN Sports Center. For Mal Washington, Patrick McEnroe, I'm Cliff Drysdale saying thank you to the following group of people. Dennis Denninger, he's our coordinating producer. He's also the wordsmith of our group. Steve Mayer, he's the producer, and he's the one with all the patience. Bob Rosberg is our director. For him, the word is calm. Then there's Tony Lanny, Bridget Bogatis, Harold Heck, Mitch Rubenstein, Jenny Silverstein, Mike Amada. There's also, we should mention, Mary Jo Fernandez, Pam Shriver, Mal Washington, Patrick McEnroe. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Again, it is Andre Agassi, the winner of the men's singles at this year's first Grand Slam from down under in Melbourne, Australia. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com. Congratulations to Andre Agassi of the USA, the winner of this millennium's...
Coming up on Sports Center, the weather outside is frightful, but the game's indoors. We'll have all the latest from Atlanta on Super Saturday. Andre was looking to make it an American sweep down under, while Iron Mike was looking to sweep the canvas with somebody named Julius Francis. CEO Jordan with the Washington shakeup.